Let's talk to Susan Hall right now and find out just how angry she is. Susan, a very good morning to you. Welcome.
Good morning.
I can't believe what I saw last night on television is not only allowed to happen in this country, but is likely to be repeated on Saturday and on Sunday when these morons decide to have more commemorative marches, for the memory of a man who was killed in Minneapolis, the United States, a place where I'm sure most of them have never even been.
Well, all of this is down to a case of safety. They're putting everybody in danger by doing what they're doing. As for the aggression towards the police, there is absolutely no excuse for that whatsoever. It's a disgrace.
It really is. But what I find astonishing as well, I don't know whether you've had an opportunity to quiz Cressida Dick about this, who runs the Metropolitan Police, but there didn't appear to be any police officers with the right kind of protection to deal with this kind of violence. And when the violence did start, it didn't seem that there was any kind of, special forces to come into play who would have been able to disperse the crowd. The police were literally, as I saw them on various videos, in retreat.
Well, I did have a chance to quiz her. Actually, yesterday we had a police committee meeting, and I was the one that asked her about the protests. I think the trouble is we've got a situation here. I can only imagine, and this is what I'm imagining, she didn't say it, but if you remember going back to 2010 when we had all the riots, etc., the last thing we need is like that happening again. And I think that's why the police are reluctant to go in so hard. But if you see the videos that are on Twitter this morning of the way the police have been treated, it's an absolute disgrace. Being hit, placards being thrown at them. I have absolutely no time for this whatsoever. So many of us have been shielding the whole time, as we should, to save all of us from this wretched virus. And yet all of these, and you call them planks, I don't, but you call them planks, are going out there, putting every one of us in danger. Where is Khan at this point? He should be issuing guidance on how to protest safely, because it is our human right to protest. But, people should always be wearing masks. They should keep social distance. Unlike Barry Gardner, I only hope the media are as vociferous against him as they have been against others who actually didn't put other people in danger. But I'm not holding my breath on that one.
Well, you'll be delighted to know that on Sadiq Khan's Twitter feed, his most recent tweet from about 29 minutes ago is a picture of Westminster cycling lane in which he says, "Exciting to see our street space plans coming to fruition. We're protecting and widening CS8, making our streets safer for people to walk and cycle." Well, it wasn't very safe to walk and cycle down Northumberland Avenue last night because there was a bunch of marauding gangs trying to punch anyone that they didn't like the look of.
Oh, he's a complete waste of time. He should be showing leadership because he is our mayor. He should be showing leadership out there saying, for goodness sake, we'll have another spike in this if we're not careful. I grant you cannot take people's rights away to demonstrate. That is our right, and we're lucky to have those rights in this country. However, we've just been through so much pain trying to get rid of this virus or trying to reduce it. With people doing what they were doing yesterday, and I believe more scheduled to go ahead, we're just going to have a second peak. And then, of course, who will get the blame? The government will get the blame. Not all these idiots that are out on the street, not keeping any social distance whatsoever.
Also, what I'd like to see, Susan, is the police in today, stepping in, looking at the CCTV footage, because there's plenty of it, and there will be plenty of social media footage as well, of some of these people, these individuals who were spray painting the cenotaph, the ones who were throwing stuff at the police, the ones who were punching the police. They're very clear images, right? Why are they not saying to us and releasing on their own Twitter feed, these are the people we want to find, these are the people we have identified as the troublemakers, because at the very least they could then pick them out of the crowd, arrest them and prevent them from taking part this weekend?
Well, I think they should. The trouble is, too often people tiptoe through these things to cause any problems or offence or anything else. These officers are getting smacked in the face.
Yeah.
They're having things thrown at them. We need to protect our police officers. I mean, I'm watching your video now. It's an absolute disgrace. And the trouble is, so many of these people in the audience that I'm watching now will go home. They may well have elderly relatives living with them. They may have people that, are in one of the groups that are particularly vulnerable to this virus. They're putting them at danger. And then, because it's even worse, because it'll just spread around amongst communities, etc., we'll be back to square one. And in the meantime, all of us are doing what we can to keep everybody safe. People are losing their businesses, people are losing family members, and I should have put that the other way around because it's in the wrong order. But nevertheless, lots of people have gone through a lot of pain over this. And now here they all are in the streets, screaming and shouting, all next to each other. We need to issue guidance on what people have to do if they want to demonstrate, because that's their right to do it.
Right.
But
what about the protection of the police as well? Because I noticed that the police were not wearing masks. Quite a few of the protesters were wearing masks, some of them probably because they wanted their identities to remain secret. But I mean, the police are actually now in a healthcare scenario here, which could be dangerous for them because they're having to police very close to one another, but they're also having to have these ghastly individuals shouting at them, breathing all over them, probably spitting at them as well, and heaven forbid that we get an outbreak of coronavirus amongst the Metropolitan Police as a result.
Yes, actually yesterday, and I'm sorry I don't have my notes here, yesterday Cressida Dick told us how many of police officers have been spat at, etc., during this whole lockdown. I imagine it's doubled overnight. Absolutely disgraceful.
It really is.
And yeah, Khan needs to come out and say, stop this at the moment, please. Or if you're going to do it, keep socially distanced, be peaceful and calm. So what happened in America didn't happen here. Our police force, I genuinely believe this, are doing everything they can to root out any racism whatsoever. So why we have to have this nonsense carrying on here when we're all just desperately trying to keep ourselves safe from this virus, I do not know.
Well, quite. And also, who's to say that this weekend is the end of it? Because if they get the go-ahead to do more, Saturday, I think one is outside the American Embassy, and another one is probably, I think, more like the Hyde Park one from yesterday. But who's to say they don't decide to do another one next Wednesday or do another one for the following Saturday? There doesn't seem to be any control over this from a central perspective. It all seems to be at the whim of these protesters.
No, and what are they actually achieving? I cannot imagine most people out there in London, as we're in London or anywhere, quite frankly, looking at this and thinking this is anything but a dreadful thing. We're all doing what we're told, and these people are doing everything they can to ruin the last few weeks. As I said, constantly say people have got the right to demonstrate, but for God's sake, at the moment when we're going through such hell, when we're desperately trying to keep the National Health Service free as we can, as in with less people there, I can only imagine this will cause a second peak, and then where will we all be?
Right.
Absolutely disgraceful.